Well, hello, and happy Friday to all of you. We have made it to Friday yet again. And it's so interesting because, it used to be when we got to Friday, we'd be looking forward to the weekends. I don't know about you, but nowadays, when you have to figure out where you're going to get your groceries, what you're going to do this weekend, how you're going to keep the kids busy, well, it could just be more weekdays. But, we are here to celebrate. It doesn't matter. We're here to celebrate because the Dow actually closed up today 700 some points, and the Nasdaq was up over 100 points. So let's sock that in for a win. So let's go ahead and just say that right now people are looking for any bit of good news, whether it be in vaccines or treatment or whatnot, and to give us some positivity in the stock market. So let's just accept it for what it is. Today was a good day. Let's look forward to next week because today I'm so excited to introduce a longtime good friend of mine, Jacob Shwirtz here. He is joining us from Jacob. Where are you right now? What
I'm
city?
in my bedroom here in Brooklyn, New York.
And you are, I mean, you are someone I have appreciated and adored for years because we worked together when, well, right now you're still, we work and with business development and partnerships. And that's sort of how we all came together, didn't we?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's always been great knowing you, working together. Thank you so much for having me now to talk about something very, very different than what we normally talk about.
This is very different than we normally talk about, but times are changing. So I guess we are changing. And to be honest with you, I'm so excited about this topic because you and I have been connected on Facebook, and you share, but not as I think not as often as some of the other really active Facebook people. And you're
Yeah,
definitely one
children.
of, right, and you're definitely one of the most humble people that I
Oh,
know,
thank you.
by far. So I'm sure this is very different from what we usually chat about, which is business and sometimes the kids and family and whatnot. Um, but for those of you who are not sure what we're talking about, I'm going to actually ask Curtis right now to show you a little bit of a visual because Jacob has created a handle called Trader Joe's, is it line?
Yeah,
Right?
the
Trader
Trader Joe's
Joe's
line.
line. I followed it on Twitter, and those of you who are watching, I invite you to do so too. But Curtis, can you give everybody a quick quick snapshot of what we're talking about right now?
You're asking, is that to me?
I think he's trying to pull it
Oh,
up. Okay,
okay.
it's not pulling up, but that's okay. We will
I can
come
tell
back.
you about it. Yeah.
Yes. So, absolutely. So what I'll tell you what it is so that you can get a visual, and you definitely want to Google this later. But Jacob has done something that, frankly, as a parent, as someone who's really busy, I'm sure you're watching this and you're really busy. The last thing you want to do right now is venture out to go get groceries. The whole concept is pretty daunting, right? I mean, you got to put your mask on, you got to put your gloves on, you got to get in the car, or you got to walk, or however you get to the grocery store, and hopes and pray that there isn't much of a line. But unfortunately, really popular places that we know of, such as Jacob knows, Trader Joe's. And I know there's a cult following because I know, like, my sister, for example, is obsessed with Trader Joe's. And so many people are. But then, I mean, Jacob, usually Trader Joe's lines can be really long, right? Because they have really popular food.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, the quick story is I live across the street from one of the more popular Trader Joe's here in Brooklyn. And there's typically lines even before coronavirus. And it was always sort of a hobby or a little funny thing. I would let friends know how long the line is before they decide to venture over because there aren't that many in Brooklyn. And now with the virus and people staying at home, the lines have gone even longer. And so I off this account less than a week ago, really, just sort of let my neighbors know how long the line is anytime they ask. So it's not a webcam, it's not a robot, it's literally me, a human, going to my bedroom window and just letting people know how long the line is when they ask.
So Jacob, like, you did this really just to help your coworkers out initially, right? Because I read that you were on a Zoom call with your coworkers and they would ask you, since you live so close to Trader Joe's, how the line was.
Yeah, it really started as sort of an ongoing joke. I would just let friends, coworkers, family know when we hop on Zoom. Maybe I'd show them how long the line is because the lines are getting pretty crazy. The full avenue block down, sometimes snaking around even longer than that. And then I figured I could just be sharing that with the broader community. So why not? And it's really seemed to take off. People really seem to like it.
Oh, they so like it. I was just actually checking out your Twitter stream before we jumped in, and I saw someone actually tweet. They said, "Thanks to your feed, as soon as you told me the line was short, I went and I got in and out in 20 minutes." I mean, I don't know how much better it can be if you have to go to Trader Joe's. Literally, I would always check your Twitter feed before I head out. I mean, selfishly, I wish there were more Jacobs in the world. There was one, several here in Southern California. And I wish, you know, those of you who are watching, maybe this is a concept for you. If you live near a Trader Joe's, maybe if you walk near Trader Joe's, maybe you do this. Well, Jacob, how often do you tweet about Trader Joe's right now? What's your
Yeah.
kind of daily schedule?
So I take the initiative to tweet whenever I see a big change in the line. It's getting really short, really long. I typically tweet before they open to let people know because people want to know, oh, if I show up half an hour early before they open, how will it be? But even that's not a good trick anymore. So I try to post around some milestones in the day like that. But other than that, I have just an open invitation. If you're heading over, and I'll let you know because 95% of the day I'm home anyway. And so I get an alert. I literally walk over to the window, check it out, and reply back to people as close to real time as I can. So yeah, hit me up and I'll let you know.
That's incredible. That's so incredible. And I mean, when I think about this, Jacob, is like a lot of people would think right now with the coronavirus, I'm depressed, and I can't do anything. Maybe I'm out of work. Life is sort of doom and gray, but you've kind of taken a negative situation and made it a pretty positive situation.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to think I have a little bit of a sense of humor, and if I can brighten someone's day or help them in some small way, then I'm very happy to do that. And it's nice to be able to do that in such a intense time like we're living in right now.
And so let me ask you this. Have your kids and your wife, have they gotten sort of into this? Like, do they ask you how many people reached out to you today about Trader Joe's?
Yeah, they're definitely recruited into service of this. If my wife runs out for an errand, then she'll also snap a pic and send it over, or check out the window if I can't get to it right away. Yeah, it's definitely given us sort of a project in the family to do with two little kids. We're desperate for more activities for them.
So I'm guessing you never have to line up for Trader Joe's then.
I wish that I have no special VIP privileges. The line is pretty long almost all the time. So yeah, it's not pretty. People ask me what's the shortest I've seen it over the last week. The shortest has just been when there was a giant rainstorm. And even then there were a handful of people waiting outside to get in. So it's really not pretty. It's pretty constantly busy.
Okay, well, I'm really curious because, I work all the time, so I don't get to go out that often. And weekends are pretty much my only time to do grocery shopping if we need to. So, in your experience, in your very experienced situation here, typically, is it better to go like get there before they open, or is it better to go right when they're closing, or somewhere in between?
Yeah. So lately it's been busy almost the whole time. So I think it's more of a personal psychological question, which I actually asked my followers today in a Twitter poll. So let's see how you would answer this. If you knew you had to wait an hour and a half to get in, so would you show up an hour and a half before opening and know that you're going to get in because you're the first one in line, but you're going to be waiting that long? Or would you hop on a line that is that long, but you'll hope to have wishful thinking that maybe it'll move fast, or that little bit of progress that you see as you slowly move forward feels better than being there when it's closed and waiting for it to open? I think that's a personal question.
That's a really good question. Well, I would say that I would answer it as a financial advisor would. Like, first of all, I'm a morning person, so early is always easy for me. Number two, I would think that Trader Joe's would restock the night before. So if I went in early, I would have fresh pickings. And number three is I think that, like, I just think that there are more people right now during the coronavirus staying up late at night watching Netflix and just, taking their time because they don't have to wake up early. So therefore, I would assume that being there early would be less of a crowd than being late. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's true. If you go early, it's probably cleaner, more well stocked. And even though you know exactly how long you'll be waiting, so there's no chance of getting lucky and the line moving quickly, I think that's what I would do also, get there early. But early these days means over an hour. People who show up 45 minutes before might still be stuck in a 45-minute line.
That's rough. We've seen those lines, I think, in Hawaii, where people are waiting in line from Costco, and the line literally looks like it takes up the entire parking lot. So, actually, I've been reading about this, and everyone sort of has so much anxiety to having to wait in line to go to the different places, not only because of the line, but really because during, in the line, you could actually get sick. So, like this Trader Joe's line that you're watching every day, have they put markers on the sidewalk, or people just sort of make their own sort of 6 feet distance?
Yeah, great question. There are no markers, but people have been really, really good about the social distancing. So when people also ask me how long of a wait or where is the line, it might sound scary if it's going around the whole block, but it's much fewer people than it would be if they weren't socially distancing. So yeah, people have been pretty good about the distancing. And then the other good thing is that when you get inside, it's basically the best shopping experience you can have because it's not crowded. There's typically no line to check out. So really your entire eating experience of shopping is just getting in. Once you're in, great experience.
Well, that's good to know because if the line is outside and not inside, that's actually good, right? Because they say that, because outside you have free flowing air, it's probably safer and whatnot. But I think like the markers would be a really good thing. In fact, we have Robin Stevens joining us, and she's saying that she loves Trader Joe's French bread. And most importantly, she needs Jacob in New Jersey. I think we need Jacob everywhere. In fact, those of you who are watching this, if those of you are working at Trader Joe's or you are part of Trader Joe's, I think you ought to bring Jacob to their attention because let me tell you, not only is he just a wonderful, wonderful, kind human
Thank
being,
you. Thank you.
but look at the value. I'm going to talk about something else because I thought this was so genius, Jacob. Here in Southern California, I'm like about 20 minutes from Disneyland. And when Disneyland was open, like you could never hardly ever go when the line wasn't crazy. So you would actually rely on these services that would show whether the park was really crowded that day or less crowded and whatnot. And it was all about these little like green light, yellow light, and red light scenarios. And you've actually adopted that into your tweets, right? Talk
Yeah,
about
yeah. I
that.
try to give people, yeah, sometimes people want to know how long the line is or how many people are waiting in line or where it is down the street. And so I try to use all these different devices and then throw in typically a red, orange, or green light also. So depending on how you want your information, I'm here to serve.
So do you have you tried to recruit other people that live across the street from Trader Joe's?
Yeah, it's that's been one of the amazing outcomes of this is sort of the neighborhood community feeling that we're seeing in the replies and shares that we're getting on social media. So there's a really cool woman who lives exactly on the other side of the street from me, on the other side of the actual avenue. And so when the line gets to the place where I can't see where it ends anymore because it's snaked around the street, she will actually let me know where it is down her block, and so we kind of tag team like that. It's been pretty cool to see different neighbors chime in different ways to help overall help each other.
That's amazing. I mean, I almost feel like I need to tomorrow drive by my Trader Joe's, take a snapshot of the line, and actually tweet you this. And I think anybody else out there this weekend, if you're going to be driving by a Trader Joe's, you definitely need to tag Jacob on this and tag Trader Joe's because, goodness, I wish it would make life so much easier, Jacob, right? If this was just part of. Do you think? Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you obviously do business development for very very large companies and you know partnership work very very well. Do you think this is something that we're going to see from companies in the future, like what you've done in sort of this test study, if you will, for just your Trader Joe's location? Do you think this is something we're going to see more that consumers are going to have access to?
I'd like to see it. Sure, it's definitely a service companies can offer instead of hoping that people will stand in line or hoping they'll make the trip over. Why not make their day a little bit easier and actually let people know what to expect? Uh, that'd be a really great outcome of this.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be that difficult because I know like Disneyland has it. I think like SeaWorld, I think like Legoland, those types of places have it. So they can give you an idea if you're bringing little ones like yours, right, to these like big amusement parks, whether or not they're going to be tolerable. But imagine if I think we've definitely seen at ski resorts, but just imagine if they had it in front of Costco right now, right? How much easier our life would be because the only thing that you see, because most of us, like you said, 95% of the time you're at home. I think most of us are like close to that too. So we almost are afraid of what we don't know. So
Yeah.
the whole concept of we're finally leaving the house, we're finally, getting ready to make the drive to get groceries, and they're like, oh, too much. It's probably just going to be so bad. So I might as well just try to fight and figure out to get delivery, which getting delivery isn't an easy thing too. And sometimes you just want to get out of the house, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think people are getting online and, listening to their favorite podcast or whatever and just passing the time instead of sitting on their couch. As long as people are safe and distancing and wearing face masks, then yeah, I think that's why we're seeing such long lines.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. It's definitely not rocket science. It started as a very silly idea, but it's been great to see how it takes off with the neighbors and the community. And I fully welcome anyone to copy it and apply it to their local communities.
That would be amazing. But then they would have to be like Trader Joe list, I don't know, whatever city, right? Because you're the OG. So like Brooklyn started it
That I
first,
am. Yeah.
right? And it's so, and I just love it because you are like I mentioned before, you're like one of the most humble
Oh,
um,
thank you.
people I know. And I see you on the news. I was like, Jacob's on the news.
Yeah, I'm not used to being on the front lines of these things. I'm usually the one working on strategy behind the scenes, working with great people like you who are a lot more comfortable and used to being on camera. Definitely weird for me to be suddenly on camera like this.
Well, I think it's a good thing, but most importantly, I love that this. I just love this story, and I hope that those of you who agree with this will share and talk about Jacob's story because ever since I saw your post on Facebook, I've probably told about it a couple dozen people since that
Amazing.
because it's this is the kind of stuff that we need to see more of. It's a way where we can share and help each other. That I'm guessing doesn't cost you too much money, right? I'm sure it does take your time, um, but it's just amazing. And what a great thing for your kids to see you doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're too kind, Winnie. But yeah, I'm happy to do it. It gives me something to do. It gives me a way to give back to my community and my neighborhood. So yeah, happy to do it and happy to have other people pick it up within their communities as well.
Well, we have some questions here, and one person wanted to know how long are you going to do this? Are you going to continue on until after the virus?
Well, I think it has to do with how long I spend in the house. As long as I'm here, I'm happy to help. But when we start going back to offices, that might be hard to do. But maybe then I can figure out some sort of webcam or live stream, which would take away the human element, but would still be giving that service to people.
Yeah, that's what people are asking too. Like, will you upgrade this service to webcam access so that they can just log in and check it out?
Yeah, maybe when I'm not here anymore. But right now, I think having it be run by a human is the upgrade. Putting it as a webcam would be a downgrade. I like the human touch behind.
It's kind of fun, right? Because and you're probably making a lot of new friends.
I think so. Yeah, definitely getting out there more.
I know because I saw your post on Facebook and you were at about 500 followers, which is amazing. Because what day did you start this?
I had really just picked up on Monday of this week. I started posting as a test over the weekend and at the end of last week, but then just early this week, we finally started sharing it through the neighborhood Facebook groups and things like that. And it just took off immediately, which was
That's
really amazing to
incredible.
see.
So, Jacob, all these people are trying to get followers on social media channels, and you basically accumulated more than 700 followers the last time I checked, was just about a couple hours ago, and like literally 5 days just by being helpful.
Oh yeah, sure. If people ask me what's the best way to get followers, I would say stop thinking about getting followers. Just do something good, put out quality content, and then the followers will come. But if you're just obsessed with that number, you'll never actually do the work needed to get those followers.
This is so true. And so, do you feel like your experience, like working with WeWork and other brands, has been helpful in sort of planning or plotting this out, or do you think like we were just at the right place at like? Because I actually don't. I actually think it is because of all your experience. So I'm going to actually jump in that before you answer, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I have a whole career now of social media strategy, digital strategy, also being connected to a lot of people, exactly like how you and I are friends on Facebook. So I built up a network of people who theoretically know me and respect me. And so maybe it did give me a leg up when I first started. But again, you wouldn't have invited me on if it wasn't actually something good, actually something worthy of talking about. So
This is
even with
something.
that background, it still has to be awesome.
Well, it definitely is something very good, and it was really refreshing, Jacob, to be honest with you, because I didn't know that you would go on camera. So once I was like, Jacob's on camera, and he's okay with this. We're gonna do this.
For you, Winnie, just for you.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Of
I
course.
just love this story, and to be honest with you, it just it warms my heart. And so many people that I know that are also friends with you, I mean, everyone just says like, oh my gosh, I love it. Everyone's like, I love it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people actually dropped off little gifts for you
Oh my
across the
God.
street.
It has not happened yet, and no one should think that they need to.
I know, but I'm guessing. But this is really hopeful, and I'm sure you're helping a lot of people, even people that you don't know, who just are too shy to post on social media, but follow you. So thank you so much for what you do, and most importantly, do you have anything else you want to share with us?
No, I just really hope that people are safe and healthy, staying at home, following all the right guidelines, and hopefully soon we can be back to some kind of normal back in this world. But in the meantime, just stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, thank you. And then, so we have included Jacob's both his personal handle and obviously really popular Trader Joe's line now. So definitely give him a follow. He is one of the kindest, most brilliant in terms
Thank
of
you. Thank
marketing
you.
people you will meet. So definitely a great guy, someone I have loved getting to know and feel very grateful to call a friend. So definitely follow him. And if you have friends in New York and they are looking to do some shopping at Trader Joe's, you gotta follow him there, because I think this would save you a lot of time and a lot of grief. And then that way you can get those really, really awesome things that you want at Trader Joe's. I know, guys, there's just so many good things there. But thank you so much, Jacob, for your time, and always a pleasure to see you. And stay safe. And I guess enjoy your time watching Trader Joe's. I'm sure you have your following right now is waiting for you, wondering where you went.
I'm going to do an update right now. We're at exactly 2 hours to closing. I'm sure people want to know what's going on. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Winnie. You're
Thank you,
so kind.
Jacob.
Thank you for
Talk
having me
soon.
on. Thank you.